Greyhound sleeping on the floor.
Oatmeal raisin. If you could tell by the theme song I was singing, there's going to be something about A in this video. So today we're going to kind of talk about the mind-bogglingly compromising topic of education. One of the practices in the Art of Possibility talks about giving an A. This author talks about this exercise in which he has his students at the beginning of every semester in school, at the first day, write a paper about why they deserve an A for the entire class. Write a letter in the past tense as if they were saying why they deserve the A. I did this, I achieved this, I helped this person, I did this, I noticed this. It has to be past tense. It's called the A paper. A lot of this analogy has to do with the teacher perspective and thinking about what a teacher does for a student in education and what role a teacher has in education. The author's saying he got a paper back one time and he did really well on it, but he handed it in really close to the deadline. What the teacher did was congratulated him, good job, but she had hoped he would learn his lesson for handing it in late instead of handing it in early, so she kind of was disappointed in him, but he did well. What kind of sense does that make? Instead of congratulating him and going, why don't you try this and do even better on your paper? You did awesome, I'm so proud of you. She was like, oh, I'm kind of disappointed in you even though you got an A on it. Why don't you do it my way instead of the way that you want to do it so you're successful? You should be living up to my expectations. No. So that's kind of strange, right? When you give an A to somebody, you're really focusing on the relationship doing the changing between two people. You're saying this is possible, there's potential here for us to grow together and to tell the same story while growing as individuals. You actually see the potential and possibility for this to work. This can work. You don't have to prove yourself. Grade are things that help us label and divide. They're not supposed to actually define things. They're just landmarks for potential and reaching specific milestones. The problem is when we start to take grades as definition of character instead of just definition of achievement in general on expectations that we kind of live up to. The big idea here is that the A is not an expectation to live up to, but a possibility to live into. To give an A to other people, you also have to kind of give an A to yourself. You have to believe in yourself. The potential has to be there. You have to care about yourself. You have to grow your own garden, right? Your mind is a garden. There's a quote somewhere on the internet. A person of words and not deeds is like a garden full of weeds. Nurture your own garden in giving yourself an A as well as giving A to other people. Because if you don't believe in yourself, other people might. But, you know, it's not a one-way street. The relationship does the changing, not the other person. They may inspire you, but they inspire you to change yourself for the better. Water. It's all about vision versus agenda. Vision is possibility, guidelines, what can happen, what's possible, and agenda is certain expectations we have to live up to. And we have to kind of match our expectations with others, ultimately. But that's not the ultimate focus. Our focus is the possibility of growth. Because expectations, sure, we can live up to them, but they're expectations. We can meet them, but what's beyond that? When you grant an A, the only person you grant an A to is one you're going to truly listen to. If you listen to other people, you appreciate a fresh perspective from somebody else. That's granting an A. You actually listen to somebody because you believe the potential is there for them to actually achieve something and to grow the relationship. Only to those you give an A will you truly appreciate a fresh point of view. Because when you grant an A to somebody else, you kind of speak to their passion. You don't speak to their cynicism. You're speaking to the possibility of positive growth in them and potential and growing. People are kind of like two separate universes, okay? Stay with me on this one. You have one universe here, you have one universe here. The relationship between two things ultimately does the changing, presence. The collision of two universes, the mangling and destruction of two universes together, over time with a lot of presence, results in some type of harmony or chaos, and we don't know what's going to happen all the time, right? We don't know. But if those two universes separate, they're changed forever. The interaction does the changing. Once they're separated, there's no more presence involved. Every interaction you ever have with somebody changes you in some way, even though you may not even realize it. Subtly it does, because it's the presence that does the changing. the actual presence. That's a fascinating idea, right? But to illustrate this for you, granting an A really is just about having a framework for living without resistance. You can't always have everybody grant an A to you, but if you really listen and really notice things, you will notice those people that do want your presence and that do give your time and attention and do want to listen to you fully. Those are the people that grant you an A. And in education, a teacher that grants an A is one that is willing to take the marble block that is you and remove the barriers to you wanting to learn and create and be curious and actually work hard. That's what a good teacher does. A good teacher doesn't say it's my way or the highway. A good teacher is one that says, look, you want to learn about something, you have to, let me speak to your passion, let me give you some guidelines, and let me set you up for success in learning and not living up to some expectation in order for you to obtain some kind of credential. A good teacher does not diagnose kids with labels, but actually provides them with the necessary tools and mindset to improve their perspective on learning and to kind of guide them into success for themselves. They take that block of marble and they help you see the potential inside yourself so that you can better chip away at yourself and create an awesome self. Bam! That's granting an A. What do you think about this? Let me know down in my diaphragm what you think about granting an A to yourself and to others. What are your thoughts? Just spill your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Keep granting an A to yourself and to other people because relationships and presence do the changing. Keep creating an awesome self and don't forget to be awesome. Bah.